There are certain pieces of footage that stay with you long after the screen goes dark, images that loop in your head like a whisper you can't shake. The elevator video of Elisa Lam is one of them. February 2013. The Cecil Hotel, downtown Los Angeles. A 21-year-old student from Vancouver vanishes without a trace. No witnesses. No screams. No forced entry. Just a camera, mounted in a silent gray elevator, filming her final known moments. The security footage begins at 0:02:15 a.m. Elisa steps into the elevator wearing an oversized red sweatshirt and black shorts. She looks like any young traveler exploring a new city. But the elevator doors won't close. Elisa presses a button. Then another. Then all of them. Nothing. She peeks into the hallway, hesitant, as if she feels watched. Not by someone, but something. She steps back inside, presses herself into a corner, and holds her breath. The doors still do not close. Her behavior shifts. Frantic button pressing turns into nervous pacing. She leans into the hallway, looking left and right, as if she is speaking to someone invisible. Her hands begin making strange, fluid movements, almost like she is arguing, or explaining, or pleading. Then she steps out of frame. The elevator doors close, only after she is gone. Police release the footage publicly. Within 24 hours, it spreads across the internet like wildfire. Millions watch. Millions speculate. Was she running from someone? Or was she running from something only she could see? Because 48 hours later, she would be found in a place no one could explain. A place no human could reach by accident. A place that would turn her disappearance into one of the most disturbing mysteries in modern true crime. The Cecil Hotel elevator camera footage begins at 12 a.m., grainy and discolored, like a recording that shouldn't exist. Elisa enters the elevator wearing a red sweatshirt, black shorts, and sandals. She appears calm at first, just a girl pressing a button. But then she presses every button on the panel, one by one, in an almost frantic sequence. The doors remain open. No movement. No sound. No elevator response. Elisa leans forward, peering out into a hallway as if checking for someone unseen. She steps into the corridor, then quickly retreats back into the elevator, flattening herself into the corner, like she's hiding. The doors remain open. She steps out again. This time, her movements become stranger. Elisa raises her arms and begins making slow, fluid, almost ritualistic gestures, wrists twisting unnaturally as if feeling the air around her. Her fingers curl, bend, and sweep through empty space as though she's communicating with someone, or something, beyond the hallway. At one point, she appears to speak. Her mouth moves rapidly, but no one is there. People who watch the footage describe the same feeling. It looks like she's talking to someone we can't see. But what disturbs investigators most isn't what Elisa does. It's what the elevator doesn't do. The elevator refuses to close. Refuses to move. Refuses to respond. As if something, or someone, was triggering the sensor just outside the door. 30 seconds pass. 60 seconds. 90 seconds. Finally, after Elisa exits the frame entirely, the elevator doors close instantly and the car moves to different floors, opening and closing with no one inside. That one detail ignited every theory. Was someone just outside the frame? Did someone trigger the door sensor? Or was something interfering with the elevator that wasn't human? This 2-minute clip became one of the most analyzed pieces of footage in internet history. Viewers zoomed in. Frame-by-frame breakdowns surfaced. Some even argued that the footage had been edited, cut, timestamp manipulated, time missing. For many, this wasn't just a missing persons case anymore. It was a mystery recorded in real time. When Elisa Lam vanished, the Cecil Hotel initially treated it like a routine incident, another guest who simply hadn't checked out. But when housekeeping entered her room on the 5th floor, things didn't add up. Her luggage was still there. Her clothes, toiletries, laptop untouched. The bed was unmade, as if she left suddenly and expected to return. But what troubled staff most was something small and strange. Her prescription medications were lined up in perfect order. One pill organizer showed she had taken her morning dose. And then stopped. Not missed. Stopped. That detail would later matter. The Los Angeles Police Department officially opened a missing persons investigation. Officers questioned the hotel staff, guests on her floor, and anyone who might have seen her after that elevator footage. They checked hallways, stairwells, storage rooms, locked maintenance areas, every visible floor of the 600-room hotel. Nothing. The hotel's history only heightened the unease. The Cecil had been home to serial killers, suicides, overdoses, disappearances, and violent crimes. Locals called it a vortex of bad energy. Security footage showed Elisa returning to her room alone that night. Yet she vanished without using the exits. Police began a floor-by-floor, room-by-room sweep, interviewing occupants as they went. Some guests complained about strange noises in the walls, footsteps in the hall at 3 a.m., the elevator malfunctioning the night she disappeared. A guest on Elisa's floor told police that during the early hours, she heard what sounded like running water coming from somewhere above them, but the roof was off limits. And then came the complaints. Within 3 days, guests reported, "The water pressure is low. The water tastes weird. Why is the water brown when we turn the tap on?" Maintenance was dispatched to check the plumbing. Up to this moment, no one suspected the roof. Access required a locked door and a passcode. No one had used it. No one should have used it. But the maintenance worker decided to check anyway. He lifted his eyes toward the rooftop water tanks. And froze. The padlock on one of the hatch lids was missing. It wasn't broken. It was simply open. The water tanks on the Cecil Hotel rooftop were massive, 4 industrial steel cylinders, each 8 feet tall and mounted on raised concrete blocks. The only way to reach them was through a locked rooftop door protected by an alarm, or climbing an exterior fire escape ladder from the side of the building. No guest should have been up there. The maintenance worker climbed the ladder to the platform where the tanks sat. The February air was cold, the wind sharp. As he walked toward the farthest tank, his boots echoed against the metal flooring. Something was wrong. One hatch, usually sealed tight, was slightly propped open. The tank should have been padlocked. It wasn't. He hesitated, then pushed the lid fully open. What he saw inside would become one of the most disturbing discoveries in true crime history. Elisa Lam was floating face up in the water. She was naked, her clothes and room key drifting near her body. Her watch and wristband had sunk to the bottom. The worker stumbled back in shock. There was no ladder inside the tank. The opening was narrow, just 16 inches wide. Even a trained professional would struggle to climb in and out. Firefighters had to cut open the tank just to remove her body. Investigators now faced questions that didn't make sense. How did Elisa reach the roof without triggering the alarm? How did she open a heavy metal hatch alone? Why were her clothes removed? How did she enter a tank that was impossible to exit? The autopsy declared her death an accidental drowning. No signs of trauma. No assault. No struggle. Case closed. But nothing about this case felt closed. Detectives noted that Elisa's clothes were found in the water, not neatly placed nearby. People don't usually undress inside a tank. Online analysts pointed out something else chilling. In the elevator footage, Elisa presses buttons for floors 14, 10, 7, 4. Those numbers correspond eerily to the pattern found in certain psychological crisis codes, as if she was signaling. Others noticed the timestamp had missing frames. Seconds cut out. A jump glitch where the video briefly skips. And then came the theory that shattered the internet. What if someone else was in the hallway, just out of camera view? The police insisted no one else appeared in the footage. But the internet disagreed. Frame-by-frame analysis showed what looked like a second shoe. In a frame where Elisa is alone. Thousands of commenters believed she wasn't alone in that hallway. When the LAPD released the autopsy report, the official conclusion stunned the public. Accidental drowning. No foul play. Case closed. But nobody online bought it. Theories multiplied, dozens of them, each trying to answer the same impossible question. How does someone get onto a locked rooftop and inside a sealed water tank, alone? Small blue diamond theory number 1. Mental break/psychosis, official theory. Elisa had documented her struggles with bipolar disorder on her blog. The toxicology report showed only prescription medications, including mood stabilizers, suggesting she may have skipped doses. The coroner claimed her state of mind may have caused disorganized behavior that led to her death. People who believed this theory pointed to her elevator behavior. Pressing every button. Hiding. Talking and gesturing to unseen things. The theory: she entered the tank voluntarily while in a psychotic state. But even psychologists pushed back. If she was confused or terrified, why remove her clothes? And how did she climb a ladder to a roof? Open a heavy steel hatch? Lower herself into a tank? Then remove her clothing inside the tank? It defied reason. Small blue diamond theory number 2. Someone else was there. Online sleuths analyzed the elevator footage frame by frame. They swore the video was altered. The timestamp jumps. The footage speed changes subtly. Missing frames appear where the door should be closing. Then came the viral theory. Elisa was hiding from someone. A shadow appears near the hallway wall. A shoe reflection shows up where no one should be standing. Multiple Reddit users and video experts pointed out. Her arm seems to distort unnaturally in one frame, as if someone was digitally removed. To many, the video looked tampered with. Theory number 3. The hotel's dark history. The Cecil Hotel attracts death like a magnet. 2 serial killers lived there. Multiple suicides occurred on upper floors. At least 80 unexplained deaths have been recorded. Locals call it the Suicide Hotel. Guests reported whispers in empty hallways, shadow figures moving past open doors, elevators that stop on the wrong floors. Elisa's behavior in the elevator eerily resembles something seen in paranormal cases, acting as if responding to an unseen presence. Some believe Elisa wasn't just running from someone. She was running from something. Small blue diamond theory number 4. Paranormal/dark entity. People pointed to her body language. She appears to feel something next to her. Her hand gestures are slow and deliberate. She stands as if someone is right in front of her. When she exits the frame for the last time, she moves as if following something. Many believe the Cecil didn't just watch tragedy, it causes it. She wasn't alone. We just can't see what she saw. The more the public questioned the official story, the faster authorities shut conversations down. And that's when the investigation took a darker turn. A detective tried to replicate Elisa's actions. They could open the rooftop door only with a staff key and code. They climbed the tank. They tried opening the hatch. 2 grown men struggled to lift it. Elisa was 21 and weighed only 50 kilograms. Yet somehow, she did it alone. The mystery only deepened. Just days after Elisa's body was found, something strange happened. The LAPD suddenly locked down evidence: the elevator footage, room reports, and rooftop access logs. Hotel staff were instructed to stop talking to reporters. Even employees who had earlier offered details suddenly refused to comment. Internet investigators noticed something else. The elevator footage is missing exactly 53 seconds. Encrypted timestamps show a jump. A sudden skip. Like someone intentionally removed a portion of the recording. A forensic video analyst explained that elevator cameras don't naturally skip time unless someone edits it. When pressed, police said the missing time was due to a digital error. No one believed that. Small blue diamond, a hotel guest, speaks out. A woman named Amelia, who was staying on the same floor as Elisa, emailed reporters with something terrifying. I heard someone running up and down the hallway at 2:30 a.m. The footsteps were fast, frantic. Then suddenly stopped near Elisa's room. But the worst detail wasn't the footsteps. Amelia swore she heard 2 voices, not one. One voice was female. The second voice was lower, possibly male. She assumed it was 2 guests arguing. But when she peeked out of her door, there was no one. Just empty hallway. The hotel brushed off her statement with, "Guests imagine things in old buildings." Small blue diamond, the fire escape theory. When investigators finally tested a route to the roof, the alarmed rooftop door required a staff keycard, a security code. However, a guest demonstrated something police hadn't considered. Elisa could have simply climbed the fire escape from her floor. A window on the 5th floor opened directly to an old metal ladder. From there, she could reach the roof without triggering alarms. But here's the catch. The window was painted shut. Someone would have needed tools, or force, to open it. The clothes in the tank. Investigators never answered the most chilling part of the case. Why were Elisa's clothes removed inside the tank? She was not folded or placed. She was forced downward, as if someone pushed her into the water. The coroner noted, no bruising from a fall. No scraping on hands or knees from climbing. No signs of assault. Yet her clothes were found twisted around the tank's bottom, heavy with sediment. People don't undress underwater. People don't remove clothes while drowning. Unless they never intended to be there. Small blue diamond, the final question of part 6. Every physical detail screamed impossible. The heavy hatch. The ladderless tank. No damage to her nails or skin. And clothing removed after entry. Yet the case was closed as accidental drowning. As if the truth was too inconvenient. While the police shut down public discussion, the internet did the opposite. People began digging through everything Elisa Lam ever posted. Her Tumblr. Her blog. Her drafts. Her private thoughts, preserved online in her handwriting. And what they found made the case far darker. Small blue diamond, Elisa's Tumblr. Nouvelle Nouveau. Her blog was filled with poems about feeling followed, art depicting water, drowning, and being trapped, and haunting lines about disappearing. But one post, dated just a few weeks before her death, became infamous. Elisa wrote, "I'm afraid I'm unraveling." Another post read, "When you're gone, people can haunt you without ever touching you." Her words sounded less like depression, and more like premonition. The comments section exploded. Was she being stalked? Did she know someone was after her? This doesn't feel like mental illness. This feels like fear. Small blue diamond, a chilling connection, water imagery. In the months leading up to her disappearance, Elisa reblogged artwork of women sinking underwater, drowning symbolism, people trapped in dark liquids or tanks. One post was labeled, "When the water takes you, you stop struggling." Another image was titled, "Submerged." The blog entries didn't look random. They looked like a subconscious countdown. Small blue diamond, and then came the scariest discovery. A cryptic post, time-stamped and verified, written 6 months before she died. "I don't want to be carried away by water." No one knew what she meant. After her death, that line became prophecy. The blog kept posting. After she died. For months after the autopsy. A new post appeared on her Tumblr. Elisa had already been dead. Her bank account closed. Her laptop seized as evidence. Yet the blog still updated. Tumblr confirmed posts were in her queue. But her followers refused to believe that. They believed someone accessed her account, looked through her drafts, and continued posting, as if someone wanted her voice silenced. But not completely forgotten. Small blue diamond, the unanswered question. Who was posting on her blog? After she was gone? Someone involved? A glitch? A scheduled queue? Even detectives couldn't explain it. And if Elisa had queued posts intentionally, why were they darker and more cryptic than anything she had shared before? Her final queued post was a photograph. A drawing of a girl standing in front of an elevator. Caption: "It waits." Just when the internet thought the case couldn't get any stranger, a new theory emerged, one that connected Elisa Lam's death to a government-level cover-up. And it began with something that sounds impossible. There was a tuberculosis outbreak in Skid Row during the exact week Elisa disappeared. The Cecil Hotel is located beside Skid Row, less than 900 feet from the outbreak zone. News reports confirmed it. Dozens of homeless individuals became sick. The CDC was dispatched to Los Angeles. The TB strain was unusually aggressive. But here's where the theory became terrifyingly specific. The test used to identify that outbreak was named Lam Elisa. Not similar. Not close. Identical. Lam Elisa is a real medical test used to detect tuberculosis. When Reddit users discovered this, the internet broke. Small blue diamond coincidence? Or something more? How does a woman named Elisa Lam die mysteriously in a hotel adjacent to a TB outbreak, while the official diagnostic test is literally called Lam Elisa? The timing was perfect. Too perfect. Conspiracy theorists believed Elisa's body in the water tank was used to contaminate or contain TB-infected water. Others believed she accidentally witnessed something. Testing on homeless populations, experimental medical trials, or unauthorized CDC activity. Theory: Elisa was a vector, not a victim. People who believe the TB conspiracy point out Elisa traveled alone. She interacted with strangers. She stayed in shared rooms. Public health authorities sometimes track unwitting carriers to map outbreaks. Her trip route matched CDC surveillance mapping patterns. Was she exposed without knowing? Was she part of an experiment? Or did she uncover something she wasn't supposed to? Small blue diamond, the weirdest proof yet. Where Elisa's body was found, the water tank, became part of the conspiracy. The water tank served drinking water, showers, sinks, kitchen utilities. If water became contaminated, the outbreak could spread faster than airborne transmission alone. Guests were drinking and bathing in that water for days. Was Elisa's body simply a tragic accident? Or was it placed in the one location where contamination would be guaranteed? A journalist summed it up. Elisa's death reads less like chaos and more like placement. Small blue diamond, the official response. When pressed about the coincidence of the test name, authorities gave the weakest answer possible. It has no connection, no explanation, no details, just denial. And the public didn't buy it. Elisa wasn't just a missing person anymore. She became the center of a government conspiracy theory involving disease testing, Skid Row homeless population, and a test named after her death. People insisted Elisa Lam didn't cause the outbreak. She discovered it. Just when Elisa's case seemed anchored in conspiracy and cover-ups, the internet latched onto something far darker. Elisa may have been performing a ritual. Shortly after the elevator footage was released, users from South Korea and Japan flooded forums and YouTube comments claiming Elisa's behavior matched something known as the elevator game, a paranormal ritual played mostly by teenagers online, popularized years before Elisa's death on Asian forums. The rules are simple and terrifying. You enter an elevator alone. You press a sequence of floors in a precise pattern. If done correctly, the elevator transports you to a different reality, a dimension where no one exists. The building must be at least 10 floors, and the sequence involves pressing multiple floors repeatedly, including stepping in and out at certain stops. The footage of Elisa shows her pressing multiple buttons, stepping in and out, waiting for a reaction, repeating the process. The Cecil Hotel elevator had the required number of floors. People who believe in the ritual pointed out that the elevator didn't move, as if it was waiting for the sequence to finish. According to the game's rules, a woman may enter. Do not speak to her. Do not touch her. In Elisa's footage, she acts like she is talking to someone we can't see. She gestures wildly, then steps into the hallway and disappears. The elevator door behavior. Engineers analyzed the footage and concluded the doors behave as if someone is blocking the sensor. The elevator only starts moving after Elisa leaves the frame. If she was alone. Who was triggering the sensor? Small Blue Diamond, the Cecil Hotel's dark reputation. The Cecil sits on the edge of Skid Row. A place charged with crime, addiction, and despair. Locals swear the building has a personality. And that it chooses certain people. Serial killers stayed there. Suicides happened there. Guests reported waking up paralyzed or seeing figures standing over their beds. One former resident said, "It's not haunted. It's hungry." Small Blue Diamond, a chilling detail. Online sleuths enhanced the elevator footage frame by frame. In one moment, just a few pixels, the edge of what appears to be a shoe can be seen. Right next to Elisa. But no person is visible. A shadow with no owner. A presence without form. Small Blue Diamond, the paranormal theory in one sentence. Elisa wasn't acting alone. She was reacting to something we couldn't see. The elevator ritual theory may sound ridiculous. Until you watch the footage again. And see her look towards something invisible. Her final steps toward that hallway don't look like fear. They look like following. The coroner's office officially ruled Elisa Lam's death an accident. Death by drowning, contributed by bipolar disorder. Case closed. The LAPD shut down public communication. The Cecil Hotel quietly drained the tank, repainted the roof, and replaced all the locks. Elisa's belongings were returned to her grieving family in Vancouver. Except her journal, which mysteriously disappeared. The family held a private funeral. No answers. No justice. Only grief. But the internet refused to move on. Investigators, psychologists, spiritualists, conspiracy theorists. Everyone tried to explain the impossible. How Elisa reached a locked rooftop unobserved. How she opened a heavy steel hatch alone. Why her clothes were removed in the tank. Why the elevator wouldn't close. Why the CCTV footage was edited. Why her blog kept posting after her death. None of the explanations settled the case. Every theory created more questions. Small Blue Diamond Netflix documentary, 2021. The case resurfaced globally after Netflix released. Crime scene, the vanishing at the Cecil Hotel. Hotel employees finally admitted the elevator footage had been edited. Before it was given to police. But when asked why, their response was vague. To protect other guests' identities. Then police revealed something even stranger. Elisa had been seen on security footage with two men the night she vanished. Yet that footage was never released. Why? They claimed the men had nothing to do with the case. Again, no explanation. The last theory. A retired detective, when asked privately what he believed, said, "She ended up in the water tank. But I don't think she got there alone. Everyone involved, hotel staff, detectives, coroner, seemed to know something they weren't allowed to say. The Cecil Hotel changed its name. They don't allow guests to go near the top floors anymore. And Elevator 14, where Elisa was last seen, has since been rewired. When paranormal investigators visited, equipment malfunctioned, batteries drained, and video recordings cut out at the elevator. Small Blue Diamond, the final unanswered question. Elisa's Tumblr posted one last image months after her death. A drawing of a girl standing inside an elevator. Caption: "It waits." No one knows who posted it. No one knows who accessed her account. No one knows what Elisa saw in that empty hallway when she stepped into darkness for the last time. The case of Elisa Lam remains one of the most disturbing unsolved mysteries of the 21st century. A girl walks into an elevator and vanishes into history.